So I'm here with David. We're going to do a bit more pairing on website 1, probably on the same statistics page stuff. Last time we got as far as, I think, installing for country codes, and I've just tried pulling down and see if Thomas has added anything, and it just said up to date. So I think the last thing anyone did on this was us, on this branch.
Okay.
I guess we just carry on from where we were.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we wanted to start thinking more about the functionality or the way to use the API, or if we're ready to start writing tests yet. A bit more making things more permanent. I had a feeling that, from what I remember of where we were on Friday, we still needed to do more kind of playing with it.
Yeah, I think we had some kind of hiccup with the gem that wasn't behaving quite as expected. So I can't remember actually. I'm loading the gem. It's called. Presumably this one. So yeah, I guess I don't know. My first thought was to try and get some country names from our database and see if we can use the gem, maybe just in IRB or Pry to behave.
Oh, I remember. I saw a thing in the documentation for the geocoding gem. Said it could spit out a country code.
I remember.
Give the implication it could spit out a country code, but it didn't really explain what was going on, and I didn't have enough test data to figure it out. Well, actually, I didn't know. Not only did I not have test data, or I didn't have time to make test data or test it, I had to go drop it and go do some other things.
Let's see. This doesn't sound very promising.
Yeah.
We don't need countries gem at all.
We don't. If we can pull the latitude and longitude out of the database and feed it back in with that request for country code, I think. Maybe that's all I need is test data then, is to pick some latitudes and longitude from the map. Or not as test data, but just data to play with.
It's taking a while.
Right, I need to.
Decrepit laptop.
Status.
geocode. It was some models, the user model, I guess.
Yeah. If you do that, you'll need a migration first. Nothing will happen with it.
If I do,
If you add it to the model, unless you just store it in memory. But I think if you add it to the model, active record is going to try and write it to the database, isn't it?
which it? Do you mean like the country code?
The country code, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misreading your mind.
I don't know. I was just. I mean, I thought if we were storing the country name already, there wouldn't be much point in having separate storage in the database for the country code.
No, unless that's the way geocoder just sort of has it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just gonna try. What am I even trying to do here?
I have found it. Sorry, I found something else. I found the Scaling Rails podcast that.
I see. The PairProgramming guy. And just cool. Can I just call country on there? Geocode a result. Object result. This is trying to. I'm just trying to get at an object that I can call country code on. Because I'm not quite sure. Okay. Country code is not working. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, it's. Oh, I'm going to turn my screen resolution up because I'm not seeing it.
Let's expand this a bit.
Now I see it.
So yeah, I'll just do the last two commands again. So user dot, we find a user and we call country on it, and that's fine. But call country code on it, it doesn't have that.
Yeah, because we're not talking to the geocoder object. We need this result object.
Yeah.
So we need to talk to the geocoder and get a result out of it. So presumably using a simpler syntax than that block syntax.
Which block syntax?
The one that we use in user.rb.
This stuff, yeah.
with geocoded by.
Yeah. Geocoded by street.
Yeah. So we just do, you would do, I don't know, result equals geocode. But it's, would you call it on the, you wouldn't call it on the user, you would just call it, or maybe you would, yes, call it on the user.
Yeah, cause I thought it was because it's in the user model. So
Yeah, so it's called on the user, yeah.
For instance, method. But it doesn't like geocoded by. So maybe.
Undefined method geocoded by. Oh.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, I was just rereading the message out to myself. Oh, yeah. No, undefined method geocoded by. Well, so that means it's not being included as a module. It must be being included dynamically somehow that we don't have available in our array.
As in geocoder?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Otherwise, line 7 just wouldn't work.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's really.
Oh, that's on the class. It's a class-side method.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Anything
What
you
makes it a class method?
because it's been called at the top level of
Oh,
user.
because we're not defining it. It's just calling it.
Yeah, it's being called in the class definition.
So okay, so you something like you. So I feel like there should be fewer nils in this return value, but maybe because we do actually have some
It should
test
be
accounts
or something, shouldn't it? The method should be, yeah.
We should, we've got. I would expect this to be random guy.
I don't think this is an actual person though.
Yeah. So if I do.
So that's a different implementation because that hash returned a block.
Yeah.
So it's returned a block that gets executed when, I don't know, it's a block for you to use in the future, I suppose.
The geocode block, you mean?
Yeah.
It returned. I'm confused why it didn't print anything.
It's because it didn't execute it. It didn't actually run the block, it just saved the block.
Oh, I see. Really? Why?
It's just compiled it and not run it. Yeah. Why? I don't know why. Presumably these things only run when device sends a user. I'm guessing it's device when device sends a user or some kind of user save hook sends a user to that block.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just something for a later hook to use. So presumably you can execute that geocode underscore block hash value. I don't know if you can grab it by that, but you can grab it by doing assign what that return value to it to a I don't know block equals underscore dot, not underscore dot, underscore square brackets, geocode block.
So,
Well, underscore is the last thing that Fry gave you, isn't it?
how do you mean?
Or type underscore and return and say, on a new line, just type underscore and return. See what gives you. Oh, yeah, that's what it's done. It's assigned block to that whole hash. But actually, what you want is to assign a value to.
Oh, I see. The
key
symbol.
lookup to get the symbol of the geocode symbol, geocode block symbol.
The underscore then is it just represents whatever the last return value in Bright was.
Yeah, I just learned that last week. Sam posted it in the chat.
I was looking for an underscore on the screen.
I always wanted that. Yeah, always wanted a shortcut for that. Otherwise, it was copy and pasting all the time.
Yeah, no, it's quite handy. Okay, so block.
It's not a method. It's a hash key.
Okay, that was exciting.
That was exciting. Well, we didn't pass it any. We didn't pass it any block values, but you'd need to maybe pass it user.last or something.
So how would you even do that? Like user.
I think you just put it in parentheses, put parameters in parentheses. But I can't remember the syntax for call actually.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's.
Oh yeah, it's uppercase U, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's found it, but it hasn't put it. That put statement hasn't done anything.
Mm.
I don't know if we can run that again and to kind of be sure that that put statement actually ran, but it didn't put anything useful for us anyway, did it?
No.
As in is our last user, is it nil anyway? No, it isn't. It's a void.
No, it's random guy.
Mm-hmm. Does random guy have a location yet?
Actually. What was I expecting? Oh, yes, I see. Sorry, yeah, this was our first segment.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, so it's giving us a user, yeah.
Yeah, so where's the block gone now?
So that's what puts user is doing then, is it?
Yeah, I guess. And then the block itself is returning nothing at all. So we've got a user. So I guess we'll do something like this, a bit more sophisticatedly now. So now we want to do where's this? It's results. Oh, each user. So results is an array of all the people who last signed in. So the user is the guy we're actually interested in. So can we just put user dot be more efficient way of going about this, but so having done that, we call no.
Oh, it's nil because we haven't passed anything in yet. Line 20. Is it line 25 there that we did? No. No, it isn't.
When we passed an argument to the block.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't find it now.
Line 25.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And define method country code for you. That's sort of progress, maybe. This is we just gone full circle to just trying to call country code on something that's not.
Oh yes, it's this thing called. Oh yes, country code. Yes, so the idea is those are assignments to the model, and they get their value from geo.data. So geo is the results field that the block passes in. I'm sure there's a more efficient way to play with them.
Yeah, I know it feels very roundabout, but yeah, I haven't got a clue what it would be.
Yeah, it's kind of typical Ruby gem documentation.
Yeah, it is something I've noticed that I don't know if it's Ruby or programming in general, but I really rarely read a bunch, some documentation and go, I know exactly how to use that thing now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes it's just for something like Rails, obviously, you could read the entire documentation and you'd only remember 2% of it anyway, but even some simple things I just find very hard to follow. Okay, so results.first is our thing.
I think there's just stuff missing from there that you deliberately left to figure out on your own.
Who left?
There are bits of documentation missing.
Oh, I see. What's the other thing? Sometimes sometimes they're quite hidden. Like sometimes there's this Ruby doc page.
Yeah. This is
never.
They have a Ruby doc page.
And I find that the Ruby doc page never shows up in the first Google search for a gem. So it was sort of only after finding it accidentally several times for a few things that I started trying to make a point of looking for it early on.
You can generate it from your own gem sources as well.
From your own gem sources?
Yeah. You know, when you do a gem install, it installs the sources of your gem. You can also install RubyDoc as well.
Okay.
And just run a RubyDoc server. I made a note of how to do it. It's anyway, it's written up on RubyDoc how to run a server. It's not too long, but I don't recall.
First. Okay. So we found no results? And maybe
Oh, it's this.
do I have to call it on user rather than for last? No.
I don't know what this symbol last sign-in IP refers to.
Which
Well, it's just a symbol.
Yeah.
It may be something that doesn't actually, that it can't actually find in the database. I don't even know what it does because it's not a method call.
Yeah, I was looking around for it the other day. I don't remember if you were there. I got as far as it seems to be some geocoding magic.
I think it's some device, it's some geocoder magic that, just from what I'm seeing in this search, is some geocoder magic that hooks it into device.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what the next step here is. Do you have any intuition? Should we give up on geocoder, try countries, see if that turns out to be easier, or keep prodding and see if we can get geocoder to do something?
Yeah, how about, I don't know, wondering if it would help to kind of switch drivers and see if it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Maybe that gives you a chance to read a bit more deeply into the documentation and see if there's.
Yeah. Sounds like.
How obvious that we're missing, because the feeling that nobody would have been able to even build this thing if there wasn't an easier API to get into it. The horrible, rather magic block thing that does rather too much magic all at once.
Yeah. Well, so I think if you, I obviously haven't changed anything today.
Anyway, I found a Rails cast here. I'm going to post you the link for that. So this kind of is not using user magic. This is right. Share my screen.
So it's ASCII cast, fancy way of saying the transcription.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, I think everything, if you want to pull it down, should be there. Well, I'll just make sure, I guess.
Well, I have a feeling that you haven't changed anything that would be relevant to us.
Just in case I didn't push it the other day. But,
yeah.
I think I did.
That's right. Check. Right. Yeah. I've got statistics v2 get log. I pulled down from Friday at 3 o'clock. Added countries, Jen.
Yeah.
Now, again, he's pushing ahead here and say creating a model with an address latitude and a longitude. And then, yeah, he's calling this decoded by naming method again, but much simpler. He's just sending the name of the field to it. And then he's calling the decode method after validation. Yeah. So it uses, if you want API to use it, uses Google Maps. Right. And then it goes ahead and stores it in the database. Which, yeah. Yeah. That's a record.
Do you have any idea what dirty tracking is? I sort of talk about some stuff in this that's a bit above my head. Brian, just to explain what we're doing, we're can you hear me? That's all.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me hear you well, Brian.
So we're kind of wading around in the muck a bit. What we're trying to achieve is on the. I'll share my screen again. On the Agile Ventures page for statistics, which is hidden down here, the dashboard. At the moment, we've got this data, which is kind of just tells you what's been happening on Agile Ventures. And on the current branch that we're working on, we've added a couple of fields to this about how long has been spent in Hangouts and pairing sessions and so on, but basically it still looks the same. And the idea is we want to.
Where did you find that statistics page?
So I think it's on any page from Agile Ventures. Right down at the bottom here, there's this dashboard link.
Oh, that. Oh, okay.
So yeah, Thomas has actually put together a sort of image of what he's kind of looking for, which if it ever loads, I will be able to show you. Yeah, so this is just an image here of what we're sort of vaguely heading towards. So turning turning those kind of fairly bland-looking lines into slightly prettier boxes, but more importantly, getting a map, probably using some existing JavaScript thing that is shaded according to how many people, for example, come from that country. So the idea would be every time anyone joins Agile Ventures, the country they've joined from gets marginally darker on the map. Well, or after certain intervals it gets darker or something. And then there will be other similar, we're basically trying to get data visualization in various different ways. But to start with, we're trying to do the users and then have something similar for maybe just a chart for things like documents and programming hangouts where you just see spikes and trials and how much usage there'd been. But at the moment, what we're trying to do, we've got show you actually using country. So lower down on this image, which I'll just paste the link into the chat. Thomas has also put some stuff, the data that you can currently get from the system, along with the sort of the code that he used to get it and what it returns at the moment. And we've got this stuff users per country, so you can kind of get this hash back where each country is a key to how many people are in that country. But this map here seems to require country codes. So we're really starting out on this. We're just at the moment trying to figure out how to turn these strings that represent whole countries into just country codes that represent sort of whatever the US instead of United States. Because I think that's what we're going to need to feed to this map ultimately to get it to do anything useful.
Do you have a list of country codes?
Sorry?
Do you have a list of country codes?
Well, so this is what we're trying to do. So Geocoder is a gem that is already part of the project, which is being used at the moment in this user model. And it's got this mysterious method that David and I are trying without much success so far to figure out, geocoded by last signing IP. And what that's sort of doing is finding for each user where they were, where their IP was when they last signed in, and then placing them based on that rather than based on the country that they initially might have picked. And then it's assigning here. User.country becomes whatever the name this somehow picks out. That's how all this data down here is being generated in the first place. That's sort of automatically. So we're trying to get that and turn it into something that we can actually get to behave. And in theory, Geocoder, this gem that provides this method here, has something, has a method itself, which we found, or David found on, where's it gone? Managed to close it now. I've closed the page, but Geocoder has this method, something like...
Oh, I see. He just put the link up for it.
Oh, right, yeah. But we're struggling to get that method to work even in the console at the moment. It doesn't seem to be catching anything. So we keep getting these error messages. You can see, I don't know if you were watching for this, but I was trying to get, just to be able to call that method on something. But it just, every time I got anywhere near it, it just gets upset. either it's not finding the countries, or it's even if it finds a country, there's no calling it on nil. So it's not finding countries. Or here we managed to call it on a user, but it still just claimed that the method didn't exist. So that's what we're flailing around with at the moment, just to give you some context. I'm going to stop screen sharing, because now all I'm doing is just reading through stuff.
Do you know what this Google subclass is?
Where?
It says the method is in geocoder result Google.
Oh,
What is the Google class?
good question.
Might you be trying to call the country code method on the result class instead?
Yeah, well, the result. I think the result class is just a hatch of some sort. It's not like really a class. But I mean, it sounds like you might be right. But documentation really isn't very helpful. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to have any actual information other than a few method names.
I was using Pry a while back, and I figured out a way to look up a method to see where it was at by name.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the methods are dynamically generated, and you can't find them in files.
Mm-hmm. They're
generated at runtime, but there was actually a way to do it in Pry where you could find one, but I don't remember what it was.
All right.
Maybe David remembers?
No, I don't. Got to look that up.
Are you getting, Brian? Are you getting? I'm getting quite an echo.
Yeah.
Are you getting the same thing?
Yeah, I just started getting one
From me.
moments ago.
Yeah.
My voice. I'll drop a call back in after 15 minutes.
Okay. Was it? Do you know if it was specifically a Pry method?
Yes, I know it was in Pry. But I can't remember what it was. It took me a long time to figure it out. And let's see. Well, I think it's show-method
Yeah. Let's try that.
in Pry. See what that does.
Oops. Sorry.
I don't see what you're doing anymore. I just went back to the window. And
I stopped screencasting. I should start again. I stopped screencasting because I was just reading. But I'll start again. Yeah, it'd be confusing. So I was just reading on Stack Overflow this bit here. And look up source code with the show method command. But then this seems to be saying it's not like telling you where this method is. It's telling you what the contents are, given that you know that it is exactly where it is.
Yeah, I remember having trouble with it. There was a way for it to tell you where it was and stuff. but I don't remember. I wish I remembered, because I had to figure that all out or something.
Yeah. Yeah, this all feels more like given that you know where a method is. Just try. I don't understand the difference between show doc and show method.
I can do this. I'm not sure what method we're looking for.
Well, country code, I guess. Country underscore code.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I found it just by using that Ruby doc. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't got it. Oh, do that. How do you How do you
It's show hyphen
method?
method.
Oh, not show underscore method. I wonder what show underscore method is. I couldn't locate the definition, but I think I have the definition in my gem. Yeah, gem which geocoder has it, so we can find the country source code in there. Although I don't expect it to be any different than this source code that we can see on Ruby docs on RDoc. Oh. Which doesn't really tell me how you get there, how you create a result.
What was the error again when you tried to call it? They couldn't find it?
All right. Good question. The error is. Oh, I tried to call what? The method.
Country code. The method,
Country
yeah.
code.
Country code.
Right. Oh, that wasn't me that tried to call it. I haven't tried to call it yet. So we're going to look for arguments in new. Knows what the argument's supposed to be. Right, it's results google.rb I want to look at then. So if I can look at the whole source file. There'll be an initializer here. Or maybe in the parent. Yeah. So let's find the source code for that.
How did you get this page up?
this GitHub page, I followed this link here, view on GitHub,
Alright, yeah.
and it finds me this source file on GitHub. Cannot locate this method new, but you can always initialize stuff. Is it called? Oh, in Ruby the new method's called initialize, isn't it? Not either. Well, this is the same code, but it's being spat out by Pry. It's the show -source command, but still doesn't tell me how you initialize it. Get address components of a given type. Valid types are defined in Google's geocoding API and include there's got to be something here in the README. But like you said, we should maybe cut our losses at some point and just download the list of country code. Was it this currencies gem that you tried?
Countries, yeah. Although I vaguely remember having an immediate problem with that. So
All right, I've got a gem here called countries that tried to install, but I'm not sure what that's all about.
yeah, it's the one I think.
Right.
But yeah, like we sort of installed it and then ran out of time. But I think I remember that we were having a similar problem there, and that we couldn't actually call any of its methods.
All right.
Although we only tried for five minutes before running out of time.
Right.
Maybe that.
Request geocoding. Oh.
Have a look at that.
Returns. Oh, result equals request location. Oh, I see. I think I see. I don't have any test users in my databases. I don't. Oh, I do. Right. I've got the very first methods that I found to. Right. The very first geocoder methods to actually run. And that's just .geocoded and not underscore geocoded, and of course everything's in not underscore geocoded. But maybe I can put a fake latitude and longitude for a user, so I can say user.
So, David, what happens if you try to read an attribute called data from your result?
I haven't got a result yet. I don't know how to get a result.
Oh, you still
Apart
haven't.
from, well, I say that Sasha got some results, but he got spat out into a block. But no, they were empty too.
Yeah, they didn't seem.
I think it's.
They kept nils when it felt like they were supposed to be something more productive.
I have a feeling consequences. It's just a consequence of us working in a development environment
Hmm.
doesn't have users that have been geocoded because they were.
It looks like if you get a result, you can read a property called data, which contains the country code.
It's just saying these are a property called the data. Right, so we just need a result. So maybe if I do latitude equals. There's a user. Latitude. And user longitude minus minus 20. Oh, I spelled it incorrectly. User save. No. But the user that's been geocoded now, right? Why? Well, it says it's geocoded. Oh, okay. He has now got. He hasn't got a country, a city, or a region. How does it? Why is it saying it's been geocoded? That's him. Lulu. Got no IP. He's not got a country, city, or region. Maybe he's maybe put him out in the Atlantic Ocean. I'll change that to. Country. Right, I'm still no nearer to this results thing. Unless. I mean, maybe I'm going to try putting a debugger in.
Okay, so I think I'm looking at the countries gem at the moment. Just feels
This is wrong.
to look at that rather than kind of duplicate what you're looking at for the thing.
Yeah, good idea.
I think I can convert a user's country to a country code. Although,
Right. Okay. Maybe. Oh, I'm not sure how to get Fry to start. I'll ask you in a minute how to do that. Anyway, right, it didn't drop me into the debugger. Oh, this is last signed in IP, so it's geocoded, but it's not signing in. It's a real one. Find my real IP. String. And to user save. Right.
Right back and
Oh yes! Look,
what?
I didn't get into I didn't get into a debugger, but I did get latitude and longitude from an IP. So
What have you been? What are you? So you're interrupting tests, trying to test data.
no, not the test. I'm interrupting the actual user model. I'm interrupting this block. But I didn't interrupt it, but I did get it to work, to execute, because what I did was it took my user, changed its last sign-in IP, and then saved it. And this user now gets a latitude, a longitude, and a country. So if I could do puts, I'm not sure what puts will do. Geo.data. I've got this attribute code. See what happens. Use comma for concatenating strings. I've been using too much of a polyglot. Right.
Is that a u.save line?
Pardon? Oh, that just saves a u. U is my user model. So I did user find by ID. Vector user. User save. I'm quite sure what is happening to my console. I know that just to U to print them out. Well, it's in the same place. Maybe.
I'm just getting to the top.
Yeah, I've just moved him to China, but I still haven't. Got this. Well, it is possible that this source code hasn't reloaded. At least I've got a result. At least I've got the thing working. So there is some kind of a hook. An after validation hook where it geocodes. Geocoder calls this block. Ah, right, yes, so we probably need to restart. Well, I may need to restart Rails to get this new block loaded in. So let's do that.
I'm back.
Okay. You still have to my debugger, so I can't get at this results object yet. But I guess this is a way to create some demo data. Move this person from China to Australia. Something else the matter. Right. So these objects can be geocoded. You can do these cool things with them. Oh my goodness! Why did it not read down to there? Oh, I thought geocoder didn't exist. So geocode there. Is that in alphabetical order, are they? Config. Oh, there's not much going on here. Config search coordinates address.
What is the class of that returned object? Or is it just a string?
A string. This one's just a string, and I'm not quite sure whether. But I'm wondering if the Google API doesn't actually return the country code, so we're looking for something that doesn't exist.
So you've got the name of the country, right? You just need the code?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you still stuck on the name too?
No, I've got the name.
You've got the name? Okay. There might be... So there's this gem called TZ info, or time zone info. Apparently it's got a method that does just that.
So have we given up on getting the country code from geocoder itself?
Well, yeah, there's something telling me that maybe the Google bucket.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards giving up on that.
Yeah. It's this results thing. Alright. If you need to do something fancy and provide a block.
If you need to do something fancy.
I'm not sure we're doing anything fancy, but there we go. I think there may be a refactoring there that simplifies all this stuff, because what they're doing there is renaming. Doing stuff that's geocoder could do automatically. But it may be that the version of geocoder they started with couldn't do this. Every geocoder result provides the following data. Well, in that case, maybe I actually need to be logged into a running Rails, running server with an IP address that can be country coded. Rails.
But I think random guy in the development database should have, because I've logged in as him a few times.
All right. Well, what's his password? I think the trouble with logging in as him is it will take the IP as localhost, which won't successfully geocode. But I can always try it.
His password is random, I think. All lowercase.
So, look at this link I'm going to put up. If you go there, I think this makes it really simple. And you go to the second posting. It's pretty much already built in the TZ info gem. And if you add that method to it, it should just be straightforward. If you already have the country name.
So just this class called indexes. Yeah, I think we should do that.
I think that might work.
I think it's much nicer than going backwards and forwards to Google to ask it. It's going to be easier to test as well, because I'm guessing this. I don't know how it works yet. But anyway, installing that. That's
So,
installed.
Is the idea? Screen on. I am screen sharing. So there's this the gem we've got at the moment seems like if we can actually access the country string, that's quite easy as well. We just give it this line. If you look at my screen, and then it just returns that, and it's not case sensitive. So
Oh, okay. So that's the country gem. Presumably, TZ Info does something similar.
yeah, I imagine
So, do you know if they're working with a hard-coded list of countries?
Say that again?
Is it a hard-coded list of countries?
Yeah, I think so. So there might be a couple of issues.
Which gem is that?
Countries, it's just called. So yeah, there's a string for each country. It does some interpolation. It's got issues. So I know it's quite lucky, I guess, to stumble over this with a random guy who's from the Ivory Coast, and it doesn't have the what should I call it? In the geocoder version of code d'Ivoire. So when you try and look him up directly via this, it does get upset. So I don't know if the TZ info one will be any better or worse for things like that.
So, just that particular country getting upset. CI. Oh, I see. Because it's code.
Yeah, it's got
The older English name for it. Yeah.
Presumably this would go wrong as well.
Which would be an advantage of using a web service like Google. If we get it to work properly.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain because it's quite particular. It's not case sensitive, but
yeah, and if it's different from the way Google Maps is storing a country, then it would, unless we do a fuzzy match. Well, even if we do a fuzzy match, it would never match Côte d'Ivoire to Ivory Coast.
I think in that case, all the problem was the carrot or whatever it's called.
Right.
It
was, yeah. It was.
The character rather than the ad hoc. But I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
So from that point of view, it would be nicer just because I suspect we'll get the same problem with.
Yeah. I mean, also if we're getting stuff from Google, that will deal better if country names change. Yeah, had Scotland recently seceded and we'd set this up already, we'd probably find we've broken the system for anyone from Scotland.
Yeah.
It's always better when things don't need to be manually updated.
What did you say, sorry? I was just out of the room.
I said it's always better when things don't have to be manually updated.
Yeah.
Especially if it's sensitive issues like that. Like,
yeah.
How come you said I was in Israel and not Gaza? Well, we're just using a service for that, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to put countries on people's profiles, at least. But yeah. Not from the IP address, because, yeah. But if we're using it for generating kind of a heat map of the world, that's all right. And we could even just drop, it wouldn't matter if we drop things that don't geocode. Or even don't have a country code. So yeah, if it gets upset, that's not. It would be a shame for the one Côte d'Ivoire user to look for himself on the map and find that there are no users from Côte d'Ivoire. Right. I wonder if the API for TZ info has changed since the. Yes, it has. Here we go.
So does TZ info look like it's going to be more flexible?
No.
It looks like you can pick where it gets the data from. I was looking at something else. Let me go back to that. There's a separate gem for the time zone information, it looks like. Or you can point it to
Well, mine's working.
Or you might be able to pull them out from the IANA time zone database.
Well, that's these are Unix systems that have the time zone database built in from Debian, the Debian zone info file, which is always up to date as long as you run your updates, your Debian updates, which I'm sure Heroku does. Actually, I'm not sure Heroku does, but they must do. Do from country code. So what was? Let's go back to this forum post.
It's the one above that.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that.
I have a feeling once this is back in 2007. I have a feeling the API has changed since then.
No, he's saying that you add that method to it manually.
Oh, you have to add the method, right?
Yeah, it's not there.
Okay. Right. Oh, well, I'll do that then. Let's add that method. We'll do class. Oh, now it tells me. Right, so I've created a get code, so I should be able to do easy up the country code. United States. Oh. No, this load index thing doesn't exist anymore. Right, where's drop out and back in again? Yeah, it's only doing it in one direction without this hack, but this hack is not correct anymore. They have a country's hash that goes from code to name. I'm not sure what that method load index means, but it may not be there anymore. API.com.
Well, there's a class variable called index loaded, and I'm not. It's initialized to false, but I'm not seeing where it's ever modified. I wonder if that got taken out. I wonder if that was a removed feature or something. I don't know.
I got a list of all the country codes. Oh, I can get. There's a set of instances here. This one, or one. they don't have a print. Oh, no, it's giving me time zone info. Oh, foo.code, foo.name, Pandora. So I just need to. We just need. Well, we need a program that looks in hash for a country or a name.
This might be a stupid question, but
I'm thinking of doing it. Yeah, go on.
if we just go back and look at the code that we've got in the user model at the moment, here.
Or you want me to look at your screen?
Yeah, I mean, can we just change this bit?
You're not screen sharing at the moment, I don't think.
I might have, oh, it's right. It's not letting me for some reason. I'll try rejoining.
Well, I'm sharing my screen if you tell me what line to go to.
No, I'm not seeing the screen for some reason.
Oh no. Are you seeing it now?
I can see that you're sharing it in the little thumbnail, but
Click on the thumbnail, it should come up.
yeah, no, I am, but it's not.
Oh,
It's being slow.
Hang
Try.
on.
Are you still screen sharing?
yes.
I'll try loading, leaving, and rejoining. Will that end the Hangout if I posted it?
It shouldn't. It may end the broadcast. If it does, then we can start again from scratch. But it shouldn't end the Hangout itself.
So where you were at before, it looked like you almost had it.
Mm-hmm.
When you were in the IRB?
Oh, in the TZ info.
Yeah,
Jen?
that hash.
Yeah.
Can you
it's
just
not
do like a find and send it a block?
a find?
I-
So I could do find. Yeah, you send it a block. And what arguments would the block take?
it would take a name and you would. What was that hash object? What class was that?
It's class country hash.
Okay, well,
Oh.
hash dot class.
Oh yeah. An array.
I can.
Oh, this isn't. Yeah, it's not a country one. It's. Where did I get it from? Oh, it's an array of TZ info country objects.
So I was going to suggest if you go to
Okay, so
user model.
All right.
can
Brian
you
is
do
just
TZ?
talking me through something here in this TZ. So I've got you're suggesting a dot find method which exists, but I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, if you go up to lines 5 or 6 on your IRB, I think you were just at it.
Yeah.
Above that red part. No, yeah, right there, that TZ info, that thing. If you copy, not the hash part, the second part.
This thing.
TZ info country dot all dot find, and then send it a block containing the country name. Will it do something like that? Dot all dot. Can you do dot find after all?
Yes, it worked. Yeah, and so I just want to do dot
And
node at the end.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it. That's it right there.
So I can't find this find method. Where is it?
I think it's
It's on the
it's
array
on
class.
array, yeah.
So show source array dot find. Oh, it should be an instance method.
So I'm still
It might.
wondering.
I don't know how to find out where they come from, but yeah, I could look that up in the Ruby. Who knew that there was a built-in search in array? I should have known that. It's really nice thing. So I mean, presumably I can do this for. I can try the Roman version of Cote d'Ivoire without the. Didn't. Oh, there's too many quote marks. Right, how did that? It's telling me it's Andorra again. Oh, all the countries are Andorra. I wasn't quite what I expected.
Get rid of the dot code on the end. What does that return?
Oh, it's returning Andorra all the time. Which is what? Is that the first one in the hash? Yeah. Not find is finding me the first one. Not right. So I'm not sending the right block, maybe. Right. Let's go look the docs for that. Shall I pass driving over to you, Sasha? While I go look the docs for that thing.
Okay, I mean, I'm just trying to. That's confusing. Gotta get that. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
For which the block returns true, so we need to, I don't know, that's find in a new model. Passes each entry in enum. So it probably just does a linear search, which you're right for the
So
countries. So you
well,
just
if you pass it a block and then I don't remember what you had written there.
yeah.
What is it? TZ info country all.
Yeah, I put in C. I could put C.name quality France. Yeah, that's it. So it's like using select on a yeah. In fact, it's not a synonym for. Oh, it's a synonym for detect. All right. So we just yeah. If I realised it was detect, I'd be in the right place if I'd remembered that. Now it might be quite of a large object to be. Well, it's an object of 200, so it's not large for running detect on. So And that works, and it had a the Google version of it had the or did it? Right, so in our application, we could do require easy info. Oh, false. Don't like that. Oh, it's not in the gem file.
So what about something to this effect here in the chat? Does that do anything?
Yes. I'm still sharing my screen. Yeah, it would need to be a double equals, but that will do the job. And that's, although, yeah. Oh, that's kind of, I'm not quite sure why you're calling TZE info countries twice. I'll copy that, see what it does. You're not using the
Yeah, put a
variable.
double equals. You're right, it is the wrong equals. But see what that does.
I'm back.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I think it's supposed to be country instead of countries.
All right, yeah. So, talk me through what it's supposed to do because it's undefined. Oh, yeah. It's local variable. Undefined method, hash, square brackets. Oh, it's supposed to be double equal. It's still under that method's undefined as well, so it doesn't quite act like a hash. But this thing here at line 25, this does the job that we need. I'm not sure if it copes with accents correctly, but it's so anyway. So in Rails, what I'm thinking of doing is something like require easy info user grab a user coded person in Australia, and I could do use this block here, this code here, and I could just say cname equals at u dot country and get back a u and do dot code on that. I've got AU as a country code, which we could put into our raw data. So we don't want this necessarily in the view, but we put it in the view for now, just for a place to have it, to store the code.
I wasn't here right in the beginning. Did you guys write a test?
No,
No,
we
just
don't know what to write a test for yet.
Yeah.
We were playing.
Oh,
So we've been playing for the last quite a bit of hours now.
okay.
So can I just I have a quick question that might be really stupid, but I'm going to really kick myself if I don't ask it and it's the answer or an answer. So if you just look at my screen, is it my screen sharing okay?
It's not sharing.
Alright, okay, hold on, I'll try rejoining it again.
Did the echo in my voice go away when I left and rejoined?
Yes. I would feel pretty stupid if I didn't ask this question too. When you're looking at a project on Pivotal Tracker, then there's no link for the source code. Would it not help to put a link to the source repository in the actual project settings?
Yeah, is there such a place in Pivotal Tracker to put a link to source code?
No, I don't see such a place because I needed to use it earlier and it wasn't there, and I looked, and that seems like a user story we could toss in the mix. So if you're looking at a project and it's not yours, there could be, if you go in the settings for the thing, one of the settings could be source repository URL.
Yeah, here. You're in agileventures.org. Are you talking about agileventures.org?
Let me go back to where I am. Or no, maybe it's Pivotal Tracker. You know what? I might be talking about the wrong thing here.
Yeah. Well, that's something to request in the community forum. Or look and see if they already have it.
You're right. It is Pivotal Tracker. It's not Agile Ventures.
Yeah. Agile Ventures, we've got a source code link. That's so our first thing that you get to is the GitHub Octocat logo. You can follow out to the source.
Oh, Sasha's back.
Yeah, shall I show you what I was talking about before?
Yes, please.
I mean, this feels really dumb, but we just have this line here in this file.
Yeah.
User.country is geodata. And these things in quotes are presumably, some part of geocoder. And it sort of feels like we should be able to just change this to country code and just have that then save new users, or any user who then logs in as by country code without sort of needing to go introduce new gems or do any conversion at all. If we just didn't save the country or save the country but save the code as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just playing around with that and I couldn't get it in the development site to work sensibly, but then the development site didn't seem to be picking up anything from my country code at all. And that might be what you said about localhost just returning nothing. But yeah, so I tried signing up a couple of new accounts.
Let's do that then.
but they just both came up with Trios nil. So it's not quite that easy, at least. But I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like that might save a lot of effort if there is something almost as simple as that.
Yeah, because what I'm suggesting that we do is it's quite complicated because you would have to go through your users, u equals users, all, and then you go through each user, loop through them. Users. What would you do? You'd do collect and so on. To make an object containing these codes, and then you go on to make this JSON hash. Actually, you could just count them up while you're doing it. You can refactor that a number of times. It would probably only be 2 or 3 lines, but quite powerful and tricky. Yeah. Certainly a lot trickier than what you're suggesting. So let's see.
But yeah, as I said, I mean, I was sort of playing around with what I was suggesting, and I couldn't trivially get it to
work. So code, save, and
I'm pretty sure that geocoded does have this concept.
User, user Cheyenne, user Renada, right? Save. Save. No, she should be coded here. Oh no, she's gone to Australia. Maybe I need to restart. Oh, you know what? I'm changing source code here, and my VM is probably not synchronizing correctly. You synchronize. Right. Yes. Different. Parsing. Parsing. Oh, that's the floor. No.
Just open Switch.
Squealing was not called for, sorry about that.
PairProgramming aspect.
And let's run the command vagrant parsing.
Let's try running RSpec if I've made that change, just to see if it throws any horrible errors. Let's suspect. Oh, that's promising though. So all I did was change, like I said, this to code from name, and then just ran RSpec. Now I've got 2 failing tests, but they're failing exactly the way I would hope.
Alright, good. Expect Sweden.se, fantastic.
You've suddenly gone really crackly again.
Oh dear, well that's a beautiful test, but I don't know what to do about it practically.
Do you wanna just try rejoining again, see if that clears it up?
I just got back to see your failing tests. That was a good idea.
Yeah, well, it's just I mean, I don't know if it'll work perfectly yet, but it felt like we were reinventing the wheel a bit.
It did feel that way. I just thought we spent so long on it, it might want to try a different way.
Yeah. Hi again, David.
Yeah, I may have gone crackly because my CPU ramped up to 100% for some reason. It's still running pretty high.
You're sounding okay at the moment.
Okay, good. I'll show you my screen because this code, well, you know it works in RSpec, but I'll just show you it from the console because where's it gone? And this is the source code that I changed. So I put country equals country code. Then I used one of our test users, user number 5, and I saved her again with the new IP address. And sure enough, the country field came up as CN instead of China.
Okay. Should we just go with this then?
Yeah, I think that's no extra gems, no extra magic, and it will just It's slightly odd because the database will gradually migrate from countries to country code.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, I guess that's.
I mean, we could propose it as a separate. I mean, this is so simple. It would seem. No, actually. Well, it depends what HighCharts does. If it sees a country code that it doesn't recognize, if it sees a country name, it just throws it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it just returns nil, that seems okay, because then you're going to get the people who haven't logged in for ages counted as nil, which doesn't sound too far from the truth.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. So we just get the people that have logged in since the last update of website 1 will appear on the map. Pretty good thing, I think. So it should be relatively easy to make a JSON hash from that and pass it to our map. Good. Progress. It's time for me to wrap up and finish now. Don't know if it's your lunchtime, Sasha, or if you and Brian, Sasha and Brian, are able to carry on working.
Well, at some stage I
I'm
need
thinking
to
of moving.
head over.
Yeah, you've got to get in the car, haven't you? Or the train.
Yeah, I've got about a 2.5, 3 hour journey, which I don't have to do immediately. But yeah, if we're kind of all breaking, then now might be as good a time as any. I'll just kind of change that and commit that code, I guess, and I'll change the two specs to match it. Where are we? And then I'll just I'll push that up. Models. Should hopefully.
This is clearly not mocking the internet. Maybe it's recommended to do by the ESAS course, but it must be going right out to Google and geocoding.
Yeah, it's up.
It's passed. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, Sweden has passed. Or did you pass the United States as well?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did that just before.
There's
Sorry?
there's a guideline that says that the first line of a git commit message should be only about 50 characters to be like the subject of an email message. Then it reads better in git logs, and then the rest of the text that you're writing will go in the third line of the commit message.
How do
I'm not sure
you
how to do that from the command line though.
multi-line commit message?
Yes, multi-line commit messages.
I don't really know what 50 characters looks like. Is that 50? Is that?
Well, up to about as far as user is, I think the word user looks about 50 to me.
If you don't specify a message on the command line, doesn't it open an editor and let you type a multi-line message?
Ah, that's how it works, yeah. I'm so used to using Emacs to do it. I had forgotten that's how it worked, yeah.
So just you give the -m flag and then leave it blank.
No, you don't get the -m flag.
Yeah, no -m flag. It should prompt you for one in an editor.
Oops. So then how do I, once I write this, what do I do with
Yeah,
it?
you type it there above the comments.
And then what do you actually do once you've got this file?
TextMate manual, let's see.
I think if you save and close the editor, I think it does the commit. I haven't done it that way in a long time.
No, it sent it back as empty. Oh.
Wait, so it did commit, but it did it without a
Yeah.
message?
I'm just reading the TextMate manual to find out what we should have done.
Um, Well, it looks like it hasn't committed.
I think it aborted the commit, but I'm not sure why. It said the message was empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it did that. That was. I think it did that immediately. Oh no. This. Okay, that's a bit peculiar. And empty. Come bright red.
That's weird. It already aborted it before you even saved it.
Yeah, well, I think it was when I saved it that it aborted it. I'm not sure.
I thought it. I don't know.
Well, run it again and go back to your terminal window and see what it looks like while TextMate's open.
Yeah, it already aborted it.
Oh.
I've done it. Yeah.
So there's in the TextMate manual there's some instructions for configuring it. You need what's your editor variable? Can you do echo $editor?
Dollar sign. I don't seem to have a dollar. Oh no, I'm just being blind.
Oh yeah, it's capitals. The editor's is uppercase.
All caps.
The whole of editor is uppercase. Yes, that's convention for bash symbol. Oh, it doesn't exist. Right, do this thing. So I'll paste in the chat, but I'll tell you where I got it from in a moment. Right, now just type mate space -w and see if it works. TextMate doing something now. Yeah, but just save whatever that. Yeah.
I really keep meaning and forgetting to copy and paste this.
No, yeah, this is just a demo. This is just a test. Don't put the whole message in. Save that. Just put some text in.
And then quit.
Yeah. Did you save already?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what happened. You're still in the middle of it. And your Control D, nothing's happening. Are you a Mac guy at all, Brian?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you a Mac user?
No, unfortunately, I've never had a Mac or used one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Um,
using Linux.
I wonder also here if if there's this uh, convention of only using 50 characters, presumably sort of goes hand in hand with an expectation of not normally needing to say more than 50 characters worth. I don't know. Maybe I should just do it the
It's
old-fashioned
weird.
way.
Multi-line comments are fine, but yes, just do it the old-fashioned way, and we've got something there. Yeah. But yeah, you should say everything you need to say. But um, I'm not sure how to put in a multi-line comment from the command line, and we're a bit stuck with TextMate.
Can you use a control character like backspace N? Is that allowed?
So I have a feeling the command is different if you use it in Bash anyway. Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Doesn't look like it's done much there. Yeah, I think in Bash the new line character is something a bit obscure. I can't remember what.
I think you can use \n, but I'm not entirely sure if that would work here.
Oh God! Oh, it's miserable outside. Where are you based, Brian?
I'm near St. Louis, Missouri, and the weather here is not very nice.
Yeah,
I reckon ours would be more miserable, just as a guess.
Where are you?
Mainly
Where are
'cause
you?
England. Yeah, we generally win against everyone on sucky weather. You know, it's like mild sucky weather. You know, not like natural disaster sucky weather. We're not very good at that.
no.
But yeah, just the sort of weather where you look outside and groan loudly. I think England is king for that.
Yeah. If I have a choice between that and blizzards and hurricanes, then I think and droughts, then I go for mild weather.
Probably.
Oh, our thing around here is tornadoes.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
but the other thing that English are really good at is whinging, and yeah.
We
We
a couple of years ago.
You can't take that away from us with your thousands dead. Yeah. We have to get across the pain of looking out the window and seeing grey skies.
Well, that's what it's like right now here, but usually it's not.
Mm.
But you know, this is the kind of stuff I can deal with, though. 2 years ago, when the tornado came through the neighborhood and blew my shed away, those are the kind of things that concern me a little bit more.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, that's pretty worrying.
Yeah, luckily it was on the other side, though.
Yeah.
I'm cool with my shed blowing away. That's fine because some people's houses blew away.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not complaining that much about it.
So you're heading off now, though?
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go
All
get
right.
lunch. Yeah, but I will. And I won't be running the scrum tomorrow, so I won't really be about tomorrow. But hopefully I see you later in the week.
Yeah.
It looks like you're in a really good position to start making a map now. Yeah, that command that if you want to save it for the future, that command that I had, got it. That kind of sequence that I went through for geocoding the test data would do for maybe if you multiplied it up by a few dozen users, that could do for actually making map data to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the map, if the map loaded, but yeah. Or even just writing some country codes into the database and skipping the geocoding bit. Last signed in IP, just write some country codes into the database.
And creating users with codes, or
Yeah, just create dummy users that they don't have many characteristics apart from a country code, and that they exist.
Yeah. Did you say you had something that was a nice bit of code to set up a bunch in one go?
No, I don't. I was doing them one at a time. I was geocoding them one at a time.
Oh.
But I did on another Rails app. I created a bunch in one go, and it was fairly straightforward. And I wonder if the code can actually be imported if I can find where I. Look for
Brian, what are you up to for the rest of the day?
I'm not sure yet. It's really early here.
I mean, I'm sort of looking out the window and thinking maybe I can delay going, but at the same time, I could probably do with a break from coding for a bit.
Yeah, I could use a little break myself. The sun wasn't even up yet when I started.
Wow.
I mean, it's pretty early here.
Yeah. Well, should we just break and I don't know. I'll probably end up heading back fairly soon, which is maybe 3 hours door to door, maybe more. Something in the vicinity of 3 hours. But yeah, I'll be planning to do a bit this evening if people are around.
Now, when you say this evening, like 3 hours from now, what time is it there?
At the moment, it's 2:15, 2:17. So I guess, well, I mean, like if I left now, I'd probably end up just missing a train, so I wouldn't actually be planning to leave, and I've also got a pack, so I wouldn't actually be planning to leave for another, a while. I'll need to look at train times, but yeah, sort of in the vicinity of 6 or 7 o'clock. As in about 4 or 5 hours, I guess I'll be back on.
Okay, so around noon or 1, right after lunch. Or right at lunch.
And I think also Thomas is going to be around then. So yeah, and he's the guy I think who built a lot of the website one stuff. So he's quite helpful to have around.
Okay, well, I guess just post a message on the Slack chat.
Will do. All right. I will see you guys both later on.
Here's a quick way of making users sort of. You'll need to find a way of getting country codes into it. I'll just put the thing in, update it in website on Slack here. Why is that?
Yeah, you've got an echo again, David. Turn the time. I see. Okay, maybe save that. It's a sensible place to put that.
Okay, well, I'll be back later. If you start another one, just post a link.
All right, will do. See you
All
later
right.
on.
Have a good day.
Bye.